I can say that the first one is your direct method. The first one is your direct method, which is using now. So we'll see which method we'll be using. The next one is your assumed mean method. Assumed mean method. The next one is step deviation method. The next one is your step deviation method. Okay, the next one is the step deviation method. So depending on the situation, we will be looking at all these examples over here. Now, in the first sum, I will be using here the direct method. Okay, I'll use all this using your direct method. So let's see how it works. If you read the whole sentences over here, so this is for some data about your environmental awareness. Okay, regarding the number of plants in 20 houses. Okay, good. So let me note down over here what needs to be written over here. This is your class interval. Class interval is always your number of plants. Okay, it's always your number of plants. This is your class interval C. Okay, this is your number of plants. Number of plants. So let me write this given data in this one. This is your 0 to 2, isn't it? So the next one is your 2 to 4, isn't it? The next data is your 4 to 6. So the next is your 6 to 8, and the next is your 8 to 10, and the next is your 10 to 12, the next is your 12 to 14. Okay, so this is your required data. And the next is your number of houses. I can write this one as directly, that is your number of houses. This is your number of houses. This number of houses is also taken as your f of I. This is your f of I, suffix I. So let me write this data 1, 2, 1, 5, 6, 2, and 3. Okay. Okay. Now, what, see, the main using direct method. Main is denoted with letter x bar equivalent to, the formula is sigma of f of I into your x of I. Okay, by sigma of f of I. Now, what is this sigma inside over here? The number between these two numbers is 1. Similarly, the number between these two numbers is your 3. Similarly, the next number is your 5. Similarly, the next number is your 7. Similarly, the next number is 9. Similarly, the next number is 11. And the next number is your 13. See, the other way to remove these values is you can add up the class intervals and you can divide it equally. Okay, so that is your 2 by 2 is your 1. Okay, so what is required here? Sigma of f of I into x of I is required, right? X of I is required. Means in the next situation, what I'll do is x of I into your x of I, you need to do these two multiplication into. Okay, so 1 into 1 is your 1, so your 6. This is your 5. So this is your 35. This is your 54, and this is your 22, and this comes out your 9 and 39. Okay, so now we need to do all the summation. So summation of sigma of f of I xi. So I can write it here sigma of f of I xi. You need to add up all these numbers over here now. Okay. So if you're adding this, let me add this, you'll be having 116. Okay. Now in the next step over here, so this is your sigma of f of I xi. So I'm writing this 116. So now you need to add up sigma of f of I also. You need to add up sigma of f of I also. Let me write it over here that this is your total. Okay. So if I look at this, you're having 3, 4, 9, 9, 15, 17, 20. Okay. Eventually, if you look over here also, it is given there, right? So if I'm writing this one as to be a 20, okay, I'm writing this one as to be a 20. Now, when I'm dividing this one like this, what I'll get 2 eggs are and again 2 ones are. So sigma of f of I sigma of x bar, so x bar is equivalent to 8.1 by, and I have written the 0. Okay, so sigma of x bar is equal to your 8.1, which is your required mean. This is your required mean. Let's look at the next sum over here also. Let me write the class intervals. The class intervals of this sum here is your daily wages. And your f of I is your number of workers. So let me write this data 200. You need to write this the numbers as it is. So it's only after here, right? So 12 in 6 and 10. Okay. See here mentioned here using an appropriate method. Okay. You should be using an appropriate method. So the formula for appropriate method is x bar equivalent to your EA is your assumed method. Okay. Plus, we will be using your step deviation method or assumed mean method. Or let me do it as using your step deviation method. I am using this step deviation method. Okay. So x bar is equal to sigma of f of I into your xi by the value is sigma. Yeah. So this is your required formula for step deviation method. Okay. Now you what is required here? What is this is sigma of f of I, right? So sigma of f of I, when I look at this one, I will having here 50. If you add this, you'll have 50. Is already given over here. Okay. Now you should be requiring f of I into dA. If I write here f of I into dA. Okay. So this should be your x of I. The middle one is your dA. dA equals to x minus that's your x of I minus your assumed mean value. Okay. So let's look at this one. See, look in these two intervals. The half of this number is 225 only. Half of these two is 275. Half of this values, the number between these two, that's your half. Okay. 325. This one is 375. The next one would be your 425. Okay. Now, how do I say that? Now, here I should be requiring to remove the value of A. So, how do I assume that EA equal to this number? So, I need to assume some number, right? So, let EA equal to. The logic here is you should be looking at your f of I value. Look at the f of I value. What is your highest f of I value? This is your f of I highest value, right? So the next term itself is your EA value. Okay. So this would be your EA value. Now this is your x of I. So this is your x of I minus A. So 275 minus 270, and the result is 0. Similarly, when I am doing here also this same thing, 225 minus this one, I will be having a minus 50. I hope I am clear with this, right? I will be having a 50. And the next term, the difference if I am doing it, I will be having a 100. The next difference will be 150. I hope I am clear here, right? So the next term is your, what is that multiplication? You need to do your f of I into your d of I. Okay. You need to just do differentiation. When I look at this two here, I'm adding here 0, 5 2 is 10, and this becomes a 600. Okay. So obviously this is your 0. Now 8 5 is 40, and I need to add up a 0, and this is your 600. And again I need to add up this one something, so this becomes your 1500. Okay. Now so I have taken here this has to be 275. So therefore the mean equals to 275 plus this is the sigma of f of I dA. You need to summation of add. You need to do this summation of this one. That's it. The s of this one. Look over here. This negative and this negative is removed out. Now what is left out? Only 1900 is left out. So here I can write directly 1900 by your sigma of f of x. That is your by 50 only. Right? Now I need to do this one as simplification. See here 190 divided by your number 5. Right? So 5 threes are you are having 15. When I subtract this 4 0, so this becomes 38, right? I hope this is clear to everyone. So that the resultant of this one is your sigma of r equals to 275 plus your 38. When I'm adding up these two here, the resultant is your 313 is your required mean. Okay, so this is your what required mean. Okay, so let's look at the next sum. So this is your third sum. I think, yeah, the distribution shows the daily pocket allowances of children of a locality. The mean pocket allowance. See here, the mean is already given. How much? 18. And the missing frequency, yes, you need to remove the value of F here. Okay. So I will be using here direct method only. Why? Why I'm using this direct method is to resolve, to do this sum using less simplification. Okay, so let's see how do I do that. So this is your daily pocket allowances. So that's your C of I. The next is your F of I. That is your number of children. Number of what children? Okay. The next thing is your class interval x of I, and the next thing you should be requiring is f of I into your x of I. As you all know that the mean is equal to a direct method equal to sigma of f of I into x of I by sigma of your f of I, isn't it? So this is your required thing, right? Good. I hope I'm clear up to here. Okay, and here this is given as 18 already. Okay, now I need to remove out these two values. So let me look over here. I'm having 13 and 7, and the value of this is 7. And this is your 13 to 15, and this is taken as 6, and this is 9, and 15 to 17, 17 to 19, this is your 13, and your 19 to 21, 19 to 21 is your F. You need to remove the value of F. 21 to 23, that is your value of 5. 23 to 25, that is the value to 4. Okay, so I need to remove out this one anyway, right? Because you need to substitute in the denominator. So let me, F also I should be adding it, right? Right? Okay, now x of I. How do I remove the value of x of I? The middle number of the class intervals. The middle number of the class intervals is your f of I. So when I remove this one out, I'm having all this part here, right? Now, the next thing is your f of I into your x of I. You need to do these two multiplication, right? So when I'm doing this one here, I'm getting 8 here, 4 over here, and eventually this also the same thing. Now 9 are 54, 5 over here, 9 comes out over here, and you have to do and put in. Now how to do 13 into 18? See, 13 into 18. If you're doing here 13 into 18, the resultant would be your, so the resultant is your 234, okay? 234. The next thing is you need to do this 2 into, that is 20 into, so 792, oh, this becomes your plus, right? 28 only. Becomes your addition back, addition, this is, and here you are having the symbol, right? So the next step, here you will be having a negative symbol, okay? So when I subtract this two here, what number is left out? 40 is equal to your here. I'm shifting this one here, so dividing this one directly. So I'll get here 20 equals to your F. Okay. So F is equal to how much? 20 is your required value. F is equal to 20 is your required answer. I hope no doubts after here. Everything is clear. Okay. So let's look at the next sum here. I assumed mean method. That is x bar is equal to a plus sigma of f of I into your d of by sigma of f of I. Okay, so let's remove the data of sigma of f of I di and dA. And here, this is your class interval. Class interval is number of orbits. Just class interval. This is number of women. This is your number of women, and so this would be your f of I value, and this is your difference. You need to take the difference x of I. Okay, that's a class mark. That's your class interval mark. So let's see how to do this. Here, let me take the value of 65 to 68, and the next value is 68 to your 71. Next one is your 71 to 74, 74 to 77, 77 to 80, again 80 to 83, 83 to 80. Write this values also 2, 4, 7, 8, 3, 4, and your 2. So you need to remove sigma of f of I, xi of f of I. So when I'm adding all this, you will be having that value of 30, 3, 0. Now similarly, you need to remove x of I. X of I is your middle value of this class interval. So the middle value of this class interval is 66.5. Similarly, the middle value of this class interval is 69.5. Similarly, here we will get 70.5. Here we are getting 75.5. Here we are getting 78.5. Here we are getting 81.5. Here we are getting 84.5. And if you looking, if you observe the frequency here, the highest frequency number is 8. So this should be your assumed mean. Okay. So what is your DI? DI is your x of I minus a. So x of I is this number. If I this number, this comes out to be 0. Okay, 75.5 minus 70.5. To do the subtraction, this is your minus 3. And similarly, if I'm doing this subtraction, this comes at minus x and this at minus 10. See, whenever you are taking the main deviation, you will be having the negative values the same as well as this value. The other values are positive values same. Okay. So the negative is equals to your positive values. Okay. Now this is your f of I into d of I. Let me write here. Okay. So minus 2 into I'm sorry, minus 9 into 2 is minus 18. This is your minus 24. This is minus 9, 0. This is 21. This is 24. And again, this is 18. Now we need to add up all this here, right? So when I'm adding this, I can say that this negative number and this number removed out. This one and this one is also removed out. So we are left with only these two. 21 minus 9, 12. Right? So here they assumed mean is 75.5. Plus the summation is your 12. Why sigma of f of I is your 30. Right? Sigma of f of I is your 30. So when I divide this one out, this goes for this 4 times and 10 is left out, right? So I can write this 75.5 plus 0.4. The result is 75.9 is your required answer. Let's look at the next one here. Here I am using step deviation method. Okay, so let us use this step deviation method. Okay, so here I am using this step deviation method. Step deviation method. This is something like this: x bar equals to a plus sigma of f of I into your u of I by sigma of f of I into h to h. There we go. Okay. So this is your required formula. So let us look over here. You are having number of oranges here. That is your number of oranges. Number of oranges is your class interval Cn, and your frequency is your f of I. That is number of basket. So here we'll get 10 to 14, 15 to 19, and 20 to 24, 25 to 29, and 30 to 34. 30 to 34. And this value is your frequency. This is your 15, 110, 135, 115. Again, this is your 25. and then 15 and again 25. So let me remove the value. There is a difference of x of y. X of y is the middle value of your class interval. So here the middle value is 12. Here the middle value is 17. Here the middle value is 22. Here the middle value is 27. Here it is around 32. Now u of y. How to remove u of y? U of y is x of y minus a. A is your assumed mean. If you look at in the frequency, the maximum number is 130 here. So this should be your a value. Okay. Minus a by your h. So how do we have the value of h? H is equal to difference of class interval. Difference of class interval. That is, if I'm taking here the difference 10 to 4, that would be your 5. Okay. So h is your 5. When I'm substituting here, see, this is obviously 0. Now, if you look at 17 minus 22, by how much? 5. So here, the resultant of this one is your 5 by 5 only. As you are having a negative symbol, you have negative symbol. So the resultant of this one is minus 1. So I can write over here minus 1. So this should be a 1. Similarly, when I'm doing the same thing over here, I'll get here 2, minus 2, and here 2. Now, if you look at this one here, I need to do f of I into u of I. This is your f of I into u of I. So this is minus 30, this is minus 110, this becomes 0, this becomes 115, and this becomes 50. Now, summation of sigma of f of I into u of I. If you're solving this, the answer is around 25. And here, we should also get sigma of f of I, right? When I add up all this, the result is your 4, and that is substituting it over here. So you are having 22 plus this is summation is around 25 by 400 into how much? 5. Right? See how to divide this. I divide this one equally. How many times? How many times? 8s are 0s are. Okay, 8s are 0s are. Now when I'm dividing up these two, I'll get 22 plus 0 plus 0.35. Oh, I'll get 1 only. Yeah. So this is 22.31. How do I have this 0.31? Look at this division here. 25 divided by 80. When I keep a decimal here, this becomes 0, right? So 8 3s are is your 24. So this is your 240. Now left out is only 10. I'm adding up 1 over here. 1s are 80 and so forth. Okay. So the resultant of this one is this one. I hope this is clear to everyone. Let's look at the next one. Using a suitable method, here also we will use step deviation only. Step deviation method. So here x bar is equal to a plus sigma of f of I into u of I by sigma of f of I into h. Okay. So let us look over the data. Daily expenditure is your class interval. The class interval is taken as 100 to 150. Here 150 to 200, 200 to 250, 250 to 300, 300 to 350, and the value of h is how much? Hope I'm clear. And the number of households is your f of I. So f of I is the number of households 4, 5, 12, 2, and again 2. And the next is your x of I. X of I is the middle value of your class interval. So this is your middle values of the class intervals. I hope you will be getting this because you have done this in the earlier previous terms. And I look at this one, this is the maximum frequency, so I can take it as here as to be as A. As I have written earlier, the value of u of I is x of I minus a your h. So this is your 0, and this becomes minus 1, becomes minus 2, then you find the rest of this, right? Now, here is sigma of u of I into f of I. If I do this one here, I'll get minus 8, I'm getting minus 5, I'm getting here 0, I'm getting 4. Okay, now summation of sigma of u of I into f of I. So it will just get what? Sorry. Similarly, summation of sigma of f of I is 480 of 4 that comes 16, 16, 20, 20, right? So I'm submitting here sigma of f, x of I here. I think you need to substitute the value of mean over here. So let's remove the value of mean. The assumed value came out to be 225. The sigma of u of I minus 7 by your 25 into this is your 50, right? So this cancels it directly minus 210. So 225, I'm sorry, here plus. So here we'll have plus, wait a minute. Yeah, here you'll have plus and this becomes what minus 14. Now, when I'm subtracting this one, this is your 211 is your required mean value. So the daily mean expenditure on this food is 212 rupees. Hope I'm clear with this. Let's look at the next sum. Let's look at the next sum. So if I look at the next sum, you are having 30 localities, you need to remove the mean concrete value. As if you are saying that data here, it is double decimal. Hence, I'm using simple mean method. That is, I'm using simple mean method. That is sigma of f of I into x of I by your sigma of your f of I. Okay. So like to see here, this is your concentration of SO2. That is your class interval, and you have already given here. There is a frequency. That is f of I. So that is your f of I. So let me write the values here. It is 0.002, 0.04. Here we'll get 0.04 to 0.08. Here we'll get 0.08 to 0.12. Here we'll get 0.12 to 0.16. Here we'll get 0.16 to 0.20. Here we'll get 0.20 to 0.24. And the frequency is given as 4, 9, again 9, U, 4, and 2. Alright, so you need sigma of f value. So let me here, if I remove the sigma of f as we have already given here, right? So it is around 30. So the next is your class intervals, that is your x of I. The x of I is your middle batch of the frequencies, that is 0.02, 0.06, 0.10, 0.14, 0.22 are the required values. Let's look here sigma of f. Yeah, let's remove sigma of f of I into xi. That is sigma of f of I into your x. So you need to add up all the required values, whatever you are getting. I'll get a 0.08. Get a 0.08. And here I'll get 45.0, and here I'll get like this. Here I'll be getting 28 directly. Let me see. We were 2 here, 7 over here, and this is 0. And the next is 0.88 directly. Now, when I'm adding all this, I will get 9 and 2. Yeah. So just substituting to get the value of sigma, you'll get 2.96 divided by simple 30. Okay, simple 30. When I'm dividing this one out, the answer is 0.0986. So by doing approximation, I can take it as 0.99 as your ppm. As your ppm. Now, if you want to divide this one out, you can simply do this one as like this. So I can see this one 3 table, it divides out easily. That is 296 divided by your 3. 7s are how much? 3 and 39 are 27. 3 9 are 27. 2 6 goes out over there, and 3 8s are is 24, and 2 is left out, and this is the part. Okay. So here we have left out only what that is 0.98, right? And adding up with this 0 here, so you'll have a 0 over here, and that's your required answer. Let's look at the next one. So you are having the required attendance of how many 40 students. Means this is your sigma of f of I directly given. Okay. Let us do here assumed mean method. Assume. So the formula is x bar is equals to A plus sigma of f of I into d of I by sigma of f of I. So let's see how do we get the answer. This is your number of days. So this is the class interval. This is your number of students. So this is your what I would say the frequency f. So this is your f. Just writing all this. That need this table 3 this and 4 for 3 against 50 to 53 against 53 to 56. So here we have 11. Okay, so let us remove the class intervals. That is your x of I. X of I is your middle value. This is 35. This comes at 39.5. This comes at 45, 46, no, 45, 48.5, 1.5, and 54.5. As you all know, this is a omission of the data, that is your 40. And here, as usual, the maximum is your n, so this should be your a value. Now let me remove the deviation. Deviation is the x of I minus. This should be here 0. If that is here, if I do remove this question, the answer is 3 here, so I'll get here minus 3. So there will be a difference of 3 numbers. Okay, this is a easier technique to do it. So the next one is your f of I into d of I. You need summation of f of I and d of I, that is these two into. So the answer over here is minus 15. Here I get minus 36. Here also minus 35. Over here minus and here 0 and here 33. So sum of f of I into d of I. So add up all this negative terms, right? So I will be left out with what I will lefting out whatever I left out. We need to subtract that with over here. So here I left out with minus 99. Okay. The borrow answer is minus 99. Bar is equals to assumed mean is 51.5 plus sigma of I into g of I, that is your what is this value? This is your minus 99 by 40. Now when I divide these two, 1.5. Now division over here 99 divided by your 3 2s are what 80. Getting here left out with 1 1 1 0. Not over here. This left out with 4 times I think. 4s are 1 1 0. That comes 4s are 2s are 80 are 12. So this comes out 4 times goes out 100 168. I'm not wrong. So you'll be getting 0.2. 2s are 80, 3s are 120. When 2s are only most probably that is your 8. So this is the 120, right? Yeah. So we are left with minus 2.2. That is your minus 2.2. So x bar is equal to 51 point. Yes, you get 3. So we will get 49.3. So to do this exactly right, so x is equal to, you can take directly 49 only. You can take directly 49 only. So let's look at the last sum of this exercise. Now following the law of around 35 cities, find the mean literacy rate. So let us use the hand method, that is the substitution sum. So the formula is x bar is equal to a plus sigma of f of I into of I by sigma of your f of I value. So let's see, let me write the class interval. Here we'll write here we'll write x of I, here we'll be writing u of I is equal to x of I minus a by your h, and at last is into u of I. So f of I u of I is your this one. So the frequencies are 3, 10, 11, 8. Here we'll get 85, 95. Yes, 75 to 85. Next is your 65 to 75. 5 to 65, 45 to 5. Voila. Now the mean value, that is the middle value of these two, is, so here we get 50, here we'll get 50, here it is around 60, here 70, here 80, and here 90. The maximum frequency was this one, that is A. Okay, so now subtracting of this one is your 0, this is minus 1, this is your minus 2, here 1, and the summation of sigma of phi is your as given in the sum over the 35. So summation of this one is this one, right? Yeah, this one we need of y of u y equal. Here we should make it. So in doing this to 0, I'll get minus 6 on 0, 8, and 6. 6 removed out, so left out with minus 2 only, minus 2 only. What is the value of h? Okay. Let me substitute everything in the formula. This is percent sigma minus 2. Sigma of 5 is your 35, so value of h 5 times, 5 times or 10 times. So, yeah, so the difference is 10 times. Here I can write directly that the difference of this one is 5 2s are 5 7. For example, x is equals to 7 minus, I will get minus 1 there, minus 4 by 7. That is x bar is equal to 70, I'll get 0. So x is equal to 69.4% is your required answer, as the literacy rate given over percent only. Percentage only.